Shen Shaoyou had always been proud of one thing: his identity as an S-class alpha. From the moment he differentiated, people around him looked at him differently. His pheromones were sharp, commanding, overwhelming. Others bowed to his presence. He was the one who dominated, the one who protected, the one who stood at the very top. But now, in the aftermath of that night, that pride was shattered. Because he, the S-class alpha who was supposed to stand tall above all others, had ended up on the bottom. The memory gnawed at him like a cruel shadow. The weight of Hua Yong pressing down. The unbearable truth that he had been used. Shen Shaoyou could hardly even say the words to himself. He wasn't an Omega. He wasn't supposed to be treated like one. Yet in the darkness, with his body pinned and his pride crushed, the line blurred. It was too difficult to accept, too humiliating to admit, and even more unbearable to face the man who had caused it all. But Hua Yong was not an ordinary alpha. Days later, during a massive earthquake, fate brought them together once more. Shen Shaoyou had tried to push all the memories of that night away, burying his pride beneath layers of self-control. But when the ground shook, when buildings collapsed, when screams filled the air, he saw Hua Yong again. And once again, Hua Yong did something unthinkable. While saving Shen Shaoyou, a steel bar came crashing down, piercing straight through Hua Yong's shoulder. The sight was enough to make even the bravest man crumble. Blood poured endlessly, soaking his clothes. But Hua Yong didn't flinch. With terrifying calmness, he gritted his teeth, wrapped his fingers around the cold steel, and yanked it straight out of his body. He staggered, pale, blood dripping from the gaping wound. But he didn't stop. With one hand pressed against the injury, he walked into the hospital, as if nothing had happened. Inside the operating room, the doctors were already waiting. They had prepared every tool imaginable to cut through metal, expecting to deal with a patient skewered alive. But when Hua Yong entered, standing upright, the doctors froze. Dr. A blinked, utterly dumbfounded. Where are the steel bars? Hua Yong, his lips pale, simply answered, "I pulled it out." The silence that followed was deafening. All the doctors stared. Dr. B finally broke the silence, sweating nervously. "How did you pull it out?" Hua Yong, with terrifying nonchalance, raised his right hand. His fingers curled into a gripping motion. "Use my hand," he said. The room went quiet again. Even the sound of machines felt muted, as if the world itself was holding its breath. That was Hua Yong, a man who bore pain that would break others, yet carried it as if it was nothing. A man who bled quietly, who faced suffering with clenched teeth and a steady gaze. And yet, he was the very man who had taken everything away from Shen Shaoyou. Shen Shaoyou stood outside the hospital ward, conflicted beyond words. He remembered that night. The humiliation, the shame, the confusion of being made into something he swore he wasn't. But he also remembered the sight of Hua Yong throwing himself in harm's way during the quake, shielding him with his own body. Why? Why was Hua Yong like this? Why did he destroy Xiaoyu's pride, then turn around and risk his life to protect him? The contradiction tore at Xiaoyu's chest. When he finally stepped into the hospital room, he expected to see Hua Yong weak, broken, suffering. But Hua Yong lay there with the same steady expression, his shoulder heavily bandaged, his breathing shallow but unwavering. He looked up, and their eyes met. Xiaoyu froze. The words he had prepared, the anger he had carried, all of it dissolved the moment he saw that face. He wanted to yell. He wanted to demand answers, to curse him, to call him out for the unforgivable humiliation. But the words wouldn't come. Because Hua Yong wasn't looking at him with arrogance. He wasn't smirking, wasn't proud. He was just tired. And in that moment, Xiaoyu's chest ached. Days passed. The city recovered from the earthquake, but Shen Shaoyu's heart did not. Every time he saw Hua Yong, his emotions clashed violently inside him. Part of him screamed that Hua Yong was unforgivable, but another part remembered his strength, his sacrifice, the way he had shielded him without hesitation. Shen Shaoyu's alpha pride was crumbling. And in its place, something unfamiliar was growing, something he didn't dare name. It wasn't until weeks later that Hua Yong finally spoke the words that would shatter Xiaoyu completely. Late one night, under the pale glow of hospital lights, Hua Yong turned to him and said softly, "Xiaoyu, I'm sorry." The words hung in the air, heavy, trembling. Hua Yong's voice wasn't filled with dominance, nor arrogance. It was fragile, human. "For what I did to you, I can't take it back. I know I hurt you. I know I broke your pride. But if I could choose again, I wouldn't want to hurt you. Not you." Xiaoyu froze. His chest tightened. He wanted to reject the apology, to spit in Hua Yong's face, to hold on to the anger that defined him. But the look in Hua Yong's eyes stopped him, because in those eyes, for the first time, he saw sincerity and pain. The same pain that mirrored his own. Shen Shaoyu's lips trembled. He swallowed hard, his pride warring with his heart. But in the end, he exhaled and whispered the words he never thought he would. "I forgive you." It was not the forgiveness of a victim, nor the mercy of a saint. It was messy, painful, raw, but it was real. That night, for the first time since everything began, Shen Shaoyu felt a strange kind of peace. Because forgiveness wasn't about forgetting. It wasn't about erasing the past. It was about allowing himself to breathe again. And maybe, just maybe, opening the door to something more. But forgiveness did not come without fear. When Shen Shaoyu looked at Hua Yong, he still saw the shadow of that night, lingering in the corners of his memory. His alpha pride whispered that he was weak, that he had bent when he should have stood tall. And yet, when he looked at Hua Yong's scars on his shoulder, on his body, and hidden deep inside his eyes, he realized something. They were both broken. They were both carrying wounds that no one else could understand. Perhaps that was why fate had forced them together. It wasn't about one alpha conquering another. It wasn't about dominance or roles or titles. It was about survival. About two people who had endured pain, humiliation, and sacrifice, and still stood before each other, unwilling to let go. For the first time, Shen Shaoyu wondered if strength wasn't about control, but about the courage to stay, even when it hurt, and that thought alone was enough to shake him to his core. And so, the story of Shen Shaoyu and Hua Yong became more than just a tale of dominance and pride. It became a story of survival, of scars both seen and unseen, of two alphas who broke each other, and somehow found the strength to heal. Because sometimes, love isn't born from perfection. It's born from pain, from mistakes, from the willingness to face the ugliest parts of ourselves and still say, "I want to try again." If this story touched you, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update.